is roaring as we come into tonight's duel.
Yeah, they are really coming alive and at the perfect time with the tournament just a few weeks away. But diving in a little deeper here at 125 pounds, Rayvon Foley from Michigan State. Like you said, their highest ranked wrestler we're going to see tonight from the Spartans, and somebody who's very familiar with Devin Schnupp. His win over Schnupp last year was Rayvon Foley's first ever Big Ten win.
So just about ready to get started. Michigan State here, 9-6 on the season, 3-4 in Big Ten wrestling. And as we mentioned, they'll have a tall task ahead of them tonight. Penn State, though, as we alluded to in the projected lineups, bit beat up. They've been the past couple weeks, and again tonight we see some different wrestlers sub in.
Yeah, Michigan State's going to have opportunities up and down this lineup. It's just wrestling one period at a time.
Foley and Schnupp underway in Rec Hall. Rayvon Foley, the sophomore, 2017 state champion at Pioneer High School, the first in his high school since 1989. And as you mentioned, beat Schnupp last year. 6-2 in the Penn State-Michigan State dual meet, that one in East Lansing. Foley, an NCAA qualifier as well, finished 0-2 last year. Devin Schnupp, a guy, struggled the past 2 seasons at this 125 spot as Foley wraps around the waist and collects the first takedown for a 2-0 lead. But Penn State has had issues at 125 pounds and just haven't been able to quite figure things out yet.
No, and Devin he's matured as the season's progressed, and he's certainly improved on last year's performance. Now sitting 6-12 is his overall record. Last year just 1-14, I do believe. So some improvement from Schnupp, but still not on the level of some of these other teams, kind of like Rayvon Foley and the Spartans.
Schnupp trying to walk his way out. Instead, Foley will double down. On the edge of the mat, nearly a minute and a half into this first period, a 2-0 lead for Rayvon Foley as they slide off.
And Rayvon Foley, we've given him a lot of praise, and certainly well-deserved. He's the kind of guy that Michigan State not really used to seeing, only the third true freshman since 1978 to make the NCAA championships.
Foley hard on top here off the restart. That 2-0 lead. Riding time now climbs over a minute in this first period. Schnupp really struggling to get out of the grasps of Foley at this point, just trying to stay away from any kind of tilt.
Yeah, and we've seen this a few times from Schnupp this year. Once he gets onto his stomach and he gets out of an opportunity where he can go on the offensive attack, he kind of just shuts down, and that's kind of what you see happening here as we're almost down to 30 seconds left here in the first period.
We get the stall warning as well on Devin Schnupp here in the first period. He trails 2-0. Foley nearing 2 minutes of riding time. Just 15 seconds left here in the first.
Schnupp finally gets to his knees. We'll see if he can get out and get a point here before the period ends, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
As the first period comes to a close, 2-0 the lead for Rayvon Foley, 2:15 in riding time. And Foley will choose down to start, so an opportunity possibly for Schnupp to cut into that riding time advantage. Quickly to his feet, looking to peel out. Just 7 seconds gone there, 3-0 lead for Rayvon Foley over Devin Schnupp here, starting at 125 tonight between Penn State and Michigan State. Schnupp shooting in on an ankle, trying to grab a hold of the other here. Only a nice job of fighting things off. got to help in this opportunity here for Devin Schnupp.
And you see Foley trying to get out of bounds there.
And the trip for the takedown on the edge of the mat. 3-2, the quick escape for Foley makes it 4-2. Rayvon Foley the 2-point lead, but a little life here for Devin Schnupp in the second period, finding some shots.
Yeah, and that was a good opportunity for Schnupp. He just went in there, grabbed that ankle, latched on, and once Foley was on his feet, could go for that trip. Nice move from Schnupp.
Foley shooting in on that high single, 2 more for Rayvon Foley, and he jumps ahead 6-2 the lead over 2 minutes of riding time as that continues to climb. And just about 30 seconds left to wrestle in this second period. Schnupp shoots, another low ankle. Foley fights him off, and there's 2 more for Rayvon Foley on the edge of the mat. They'll call potentially dangerous here with about 12 seconds left in this second period. Boy, the gym came to an absolute standstill.
Yes, it did. This crowd, if there's anything that you can say about this Penn State crowd, behind Devin Schnupp 100%. Through the ups and the downs, they're always on their feet cheering him on.
8-3 the lead for Rayvon Foley, final 10 seconds of the second period. And the second comes to a close. A little life from Devin Schnupp, but Foley certainly superior here through 2 periods.
And you like what you see in this replay as he gets around there and gets that last 2 points there of the second period. I really thought he was going to just sit on top and ride that out, but saw an opportunity and went for it, and now he leads 8-4.
Keep that pace, Ray. Snap.
Schnupp trying something there. Foley instead, though, turns it into 2 more. That counter from Rayvon Foley, getting him his second takedown. 10-4, he leads here. Nearly 3 minutes of riding time. 1:15 left in this third period. And 12-5 the lead. Another takedown for Foley.
And it doesn't look like Foley's satisfied here. He's going for bonus points, going for a pin potentially here. Been seeing him trying to go for that upper body and get it turned onto Schnupp's back, but going to try and work their way out of bounds here.
We mentioned how important those points can be for this Michigan State team, especially when you look ahead to the Jason Nolf, Vincenzo Joseph, Mark Hall, Bo Nickel in there as well, guys that are bonus point machines. 45 seconds left in the third. Schnupp will have to keep moving here, already with the stall warning in the first period. And there's another. Extends Foley's lead 13-5. Make it 14-5 with that riding time point locked in. Final 10 seconds here in the third. So a 14-5 major decision for Rayvon Foley. Michigan State starting out 4-0. And it seems like another case there for Penn State and Devin Schnupp where things could have been worse, but still a good start for the Spartans.
Yeah, and a great start and a great performance from Rayvon Foley. Didn't walk away with a pin, but did exactly what he needed to. Got his team some bonus points in the team score. Gets out of here with a win and a good opening for Michigan State. Going to be tough to keep that going, but here at 133 pounds, going to have an opportunity to add on to their lead.
So 14-5, the final there at 125. As we turn the page to 133, Scott Stossel will be wrestling for the Nittany Lions instead of Roman Bravo Young. Again, he's back home in Arizona taking care of a family matter, but Penn State saying they do expect to get him back for Sunday's matchup on the road at Illinois. Stossel will be taking on the senior Anthony Tutolo, two-time NCAA qualifier, graduate transfer from Kent State. Tutolo 77-45 with the Golden Flashes, and his time there. Stossel so far this season 4-5 for the Nittany Lions. The second duel that he's a part of. He wrestled over at the Bryce Jordan Center a few weeks ago against Michigan. Tying up at the center, 40 seconds into this one. Michigan State, the 4-0 lead ahead of the Nittany Lions.
And for Stossel here at 133 pounds, this is a guy who is a senior. He's from Pittsburgh. In getting an opportunity to wrestle here in his senior year, definitely something that, it's nice to see for fans and for other people in the sport that he gets this opportunity on one of the biggest stages in college wrestling. Of course, over there at the Bryce Jordan Center, one thing, but and he's doing more than just competing. He's going to have an opportunity here to walk away with a win potentially.
Stossel in on that ankle on the right side, and now Tutolo trying to spin into something of his own. Stossel just a strong hold of that ankle and a stalemate here with 1:19 left in the first. Tutolo 16-11 this season, 5-8 in duels for the Spartans. From Mentor, Ohio, Stossel from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home to the NCAA Wrestling Championships in just about a month.
And something we've seen here with Stossel, starting pretty well in this match as he gets a hold of that leg again. He started really well in the Bryce Jordan Center as well, had the crowd on their feet before he seemed like he ran out of energy a little bit, got a little tired, certainly not used to the stage. Looks like early he's right back in this once again.
And we saw, for Penn State at least, their energy and conditioning on display at Ohio State. Boy, they really showed off there, and that played a big part of Roman Bravo Young's big win over Luke Pletcher in overtime at 141. Nick Lee, the huge win over Joey McKenna, all played a factor.
Yeah, it did, and I've said it a few times that is the best performance that Penn State has had so far this season. At times they've looked flat, and they went to Columbus in front of 13,000 and just put on a clinic.
So the first period comes to a close. No score between Stossel and Tutolo. As we mentioned, no Roman Bravo Young, attending a funeral back home in Arizona. Tutolo, the flurry of fakes there. Stossel keeping composed. 30 seconds gone by in the second period. 1-0 the lead for Tutolo, thanks to that escape to start the period.
And you have to know that for somebody like Tutolo coming into this match, as somebody who is very experienced, you said a grad transfer, knowing that Scott Stossel's only in his second ever dual meet, that has to play a role in this, and you think that you would be a little more on the attack because of it, try to get him in comfortable situations, as it looks like he's in one right now.
Less than a minute here to wrestle in the second. Both wrestlers trying to come out of this scramble with 2. Tutolo wrapping his way around.
He's very close to getting that 2 call.
Coming up over the back of Stossel. Still no takedown yet, and here it comes with 30 seconds left in the second. A 3-0 lead for Anthony Tutolo.
Yeah, the Michigan State coaches to our left really wanted that 2 call, and all he needed to do was get Stossel's arm out from around his calf. He did just that, and there's the 2. He now leads 3-0.
Final 10 seconds of the second period. Stossel trying to go to that tripod and peel out here. 3 seconds and 2. Tutolo breaks him down, and a 3-0 lead for Anthony Tutolo as we head to the third period.
The thing that's important for Stossel to remember here, he's still in this match. It might be 3-0. Tutolo certainly took the second period, but only 3-0. This is anybody's match here as we headed into the final 2 minutes.
Stossel starts down. Tutolo on that left side. Stossel having some trouble building a base. Nearing a minute of riding time for Tutolo. He's got the 3-0 lead, trying to turn Stossel. You mentioned Stossel in his lone other dual appearance against Michigan just kind of ran out of gas, and it seems like that much of the same here tonight. As a stalemate's called, we'll recenter.
Yeah, I kind of thought Stossel would have a solid opportunity here from bottom to get out, get a point, and get back on the attack with a chance to tie this. But it doesn't look like so far he's been able to. Now he's going to have another chance here. But once again, Tutolo right back onto his back, pushing him head first down onto the mat.
Inside a minute here in the third period. Stossel's got to work quickly, but he's not able to do much. Tutolo, the hard ride here in this third period. Riding time up over a minute 30. Tutolo still strong on top right now. 3-0 lead at the riding time point as that nears a minute, or rather 2 minutes. And make it 4-0. Stossel to his feet, short time. Make it 3-1. He's got to work. 4-1 with the riding time point, 5 seconds and 4. And Scott Stossel will run out of time. A 4-1 decision for Anthony Tutolo. Michigan State ahead 7-0 against the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Well, Stossel did finally get out, but a really nice job by Tutolo. Held his head as long as he possibly could. Once Stossel got out, only 8 seconds left. Not much you can do with that. Can't really make up 3 points with that one, and Michigan here leads early.
7-0 the score. Michigan State on top. We head to 141 when we return. 7-0 Michigan State on top as we take a look at these two familiar foes and the conference rivals. Penn State way out ahead. The Nittany Lions winning the last 12. Pretty indicative of how this Penn State has been, winning 7 of the last 8 national championships as a team.
Yeah, but we said it at the top of the broadcast. Michigan State, certainly a team and a program on the rise. You look at that and you say, you know, Penn State's got their number. Well, Penn State has a lot of schools' number out there in the country right now. And in Michigan State, you look what they're doing, 1-8 in the conference last year, already 3-4 this year. So on their way up. It can't happen instantly, but Michigan State, they're doing their best shot at becoming a much better program in college wrestling.
Austin Eicher and Nick Lee at 141. Take a look at these two. Nick Lee coming off of one of, if not the biggest win in his career over Joey McKenna of Ohio State. That on the road in Columbus last Friday. And Lee shooting in quickly on a single.
It really seems like Nick Lee's changed as he gets the two there. Since he lost to number 8 Tristan Moran on January 13th here in Rec Hall, seems like Nick Lee's been a much different wrestler, a lot more on the attack, a lot more in your face, and it's paid off for him. Back-to-back top 10 wins in the last 2 weekends, and starting strong here again as there's another takedown and another two.
4-1 lead for Nick Lee here about 45 seconds into the first period. The Evansville, Indiana native, ranked second in the country. He's 21-1 so far this season after an All-American finish last year. Austin Eicher, 13-9, transfer from Northern Illinois and a two-time NCAA qualifier himself. Lee looking for the tilt, trying to put this one away early. Lee again there with the arm bar trying to get some swipes. And he has been downright dominant. Almost reminds you of a Zane Rutherford for Penn State from years past. Just shooting in and going right to work. Yeah, and Nick Lee is a guy on this Penn State team who almost seems like he's overshadowed by the other big names on this that come after him. You know, the Jason Nolfs, Vincenzo Josephs. You don't really see Nick Lee there at 141 pounds, but second in the country now. He's really starting to come into his own, and with that, he's becoming really aggressive. 133, probably the deepest weight class in the country, but 141, when you look at the Big Ten, has plenty of strength as well. Nick Lee on Sunday will take on Mike Carr from Illinois. So he takes 2 more points here inside a minute in the first. A big opportunity to lock up that number 1 seed, make a pretty darn good case for it heading into the Big Ten tournament in a few weeks here. Yeah, you mentioned Mike Carr, ranked 5th in the country. If Nick Lee can go in there, and that's certainly for future discussion, but if he can go in there on Sunday and defeat Carr as well, that's 3 top 10 wins in 3 weeks, and that's really impressive as you know the tournament approaches. Final 20 seconds here in the first period. And the first period coming to a close, 6-2 the lead for Nick Lee, 2:11 the riding time advantage for the sophomore for Penn State. As Eicher defers, Lee will start down here in the second. Talked about Nick Lee's lone loss about a month ago to Tristan Moran of Wisconsin. And second sudden victory, it came down to a 12-10 loss. There the mat return from Eicher. Just a crushing defeat here at home. You mentioned it. It's been a night and day, that turnaround since then. Yeah, and Cale Sanderson, that's something that he's talked quite a bit about, is that loss. Certainly not one that anybody here in Rec Hall on that afternoon expected. Probably not one that Nick Lee himself expected. But coming out of that, he worked harder than ever, Cale said, and just kept working his craft, and it's suddenly paying off. Stall warning called there on Eicher as Lee shoots into the high single, wrapping around, and 9-2 now. The lead for Nick Lee. .45 seconds left to wrestle here in the second period. 9-3 the lead for Nick Lee. Nice job by Lee there. That's one of the first shots he's had to fight off so far in this match. Easily sprawled out of that one, so back to their feet. Lee there on the ankle. And 2 more. Nick Lee has just been ferocious. 11-3 the lead final 15 seconds here in the second.
Yeah, going for that ankle, that's something that he probably learned in the wrestling room with his teammates. You see that a lot from this Penn State team. Love to go for that quick ankle pick, and right there works to perfection.
A dominant second period here, first two periods rather, for Nick Lee. He holds on to an 11-3 lead heading into the third. Almost surprised you see Eicher starting down. He's got to score.
You wonder if Eicher taking down there, wonders if his only chance at getting something here, getting a win, is some sort of a flurry, a scramble where Lee ends up on his back. Maybe that's the reason for him taking down. Other than that, though, you're right. You'd think he'd want to be up and taking shots.
Second stall warning called there on Eicher. It's 12-3, Nick Lee the lead. And the escape, 12-4. Lee there wrapping around the waist, 14-4 the lead. Trips him back down, 16-5 now. Quick catch and release. Inside a minute in this third period. Nick Lee, just a dominant performance here. 30 seconds left in the third. A 10-point lead. Make it 11 with riding time. Up over 3:30.
Yeah, and there's another takedown right there. About ready to say, one of my keys coming into this game, for this match, for Penn State, was don't get lazy. Coming off of the 2 weeks that they've had, might have been tough not to get lazy and complacent here against a struggling, or not struggling, but a not as good Michigan State team. But Nick Lee, he is not lazy at all today. He's all out.
So 19-7, the final. A major for Nick Lee, and Penn State is on the scoreboard just like that. It's 7-4, start to finish. That was all Nick Lee.
That was Nick Lee, and picked up right where he left off last weekend against Joey McKenna. Just put the wood right to Eicher, and that was a really nice performance for Penn State. Leading into Jared Verclaren, who, might need one himself.
Jared Verclaren at 149, coming off of a really tough loss to Micah Jordan, 10-8, and a late stall called on Verclaren, gave Jordan that lead, and then he just kind of had to scramble. He'll take on Jaden Enriquez, 13 and 16 so far this season. Verclaren in and out of the lineup with Brady Berge. Coming out of the Southern Scuffle, we thought it was going to be Berge, and he has not held sturdy in this Penn State lineup as of late.
No, not sure what the issue is with Berge. We heard Kale say that Berge is the definite starter on this team, but since he said that, it's all been Verclaren.
Verclaren there, the quick trip for two. And just driving Enriquez down. Lee with a dominant performance, and now Verclaren right out there quickly and aggressive. He's got a 2-0 lead.
It's really interesting. Enriquez looked like right off the start he bodied up with Verclaren, and Verclaren went right back at him and did it back for 2 points.
Looking for the double. And now the trip. It's 4-1, the lead for Jared Verclaren. He's coming out here firing. A minute in, it's 4-1, Jared Verclaren, the redshirt freshman from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, the lead. And a stalemate here. Jaden Enriquez finished 17-6 in open wrestling last season. Take a look here. Verclaren just powering through.
Yep, locked bodies right at the top and just right over Enriquez went. That's a power move.
The mat return here. We're clearly the dominant force in this first period.
Knee slide, knee slide. Right knee across.
You mentioned, Ben, Cale Sanderson saying it's Brady Berge at 149. We really haven't seen him as of late. I mean, do you think there's a chance for Clearin makes a strong case for himself? So we're in the final 2 weeks of the regular season.
Well, what he did last weekend was nothing short of really impressive, and so if he can string together a few performances like that, you know, it all depends on how long Berge is out, but if he strings together a few performances like that, it's going to be hard not to have these guys battle for the spot once again.
The escape here for Enriquez, 4-2 the lead for Verclair, and he's right back to work there, and on that single, trying to wrap around his second ankle, and it's 6-2 the lead as they roll off the mat.
Real nice job just reaching right in there at the last minute, grabbing that right ankle and making sure he got the 2 points before they went out of bounds.
Head up.
Clara just driving him down into the mat. Final 20 seconds here in the first.
Come on, build your base. Build, build. There you go, there you go. Head up, elbow back.
10 seconds left to wrestle in the first for Clearin. A 6-2 lead, nearly 2.5 minutes of riding time. And the first comes to a close.
And another dominant first period for Penn State. McLaren looked really good throughout that whole period. There was never a chance, or there was never a time where it looked like he was in a tough spot, as looks like a little blood on Verclaren here. So they're going to take a quick blood time.
So quick stoppage here, start of the second period. And a quick touch up there on Verclaren. He's ready. But boy, absolutely dominant for Jared Verclaren.
Yeah, that's it right at the start of the match. Just body lock and down he goes. I said it when it happened. That's just a pure power move and something that this crowd really appreciates here in Rec Hall.
So Verclaren starts down, Enriquez up top. Jared to his feet, peels out, 7-2 the lead. And a stoppage there. Enriquez might have got a poke to the eye. Didn't get a good look at that one. I think Roger Chandler might want a hands to the face. Enriquez holding on to that hand up to the right eyes. He gets a little look.
Yeah, it looked like Verclaren going into lock heads and just caught his eye with his left hand. Certainly not on purpose. That just looked like a situation where they were going to lock up and he caught him in the front of the face instead of the side of the head.
And no injury time here, though. Goes concussion time, which is unlimited. So plenty of time here for Jaden Enriquez to get looked at, and he's all good to go. 1:50 left in the second period. 7-2 the lead for Jared Verclaren. They'll start neutral.
Foot sweep.
Both just tied up at the center. And a stalemate with 57 seconds left here in the second period. 7-2 the lead for Jared Verclaren, an explosive first period.
You know, we mentioned earlier how Verclaren in and out of the lineup, where he tries to make a nice shot there, but slid a little too far and almost had Enriquez right behind him there. But we mentioned earlier, in and out of the lineup for Verclaren so far this year, but the one thing about him, when he wrestles, he's not afraid to take chances, and I think it really does pay off for him sometimes. Last weekend against Micah Jordan there, not afraid to take chances, and look where it got him, almost a win in Columbus. And here again today, you've seen him take plenty of shots. He's not going to lay back and let the opponent come to him. He's going to attack. Shooting in there again, Verclaren trying to wrap his way around, looking to walk behind, and he gets the takedown late here in the second period. 9-2 the lead for Jared Verclaren. Final 10 seconds. And the second comes to a close. That late takedown gives Verclaren the 9-2 lead heading into the third. And Enriquez to start down. She's able to walk it around for two more. And now Jared's starting on top. And a caution. That one on Enriquez. You love that from the official, getting right in there to make sure everything's nice and perfect before they let him go back to work.
Quick escape for Enriquez. It's 9-3 here in the third. And Enriquez hasn't shied away from tying things up there.
Certainly his go-to move. It didn't work for him earlier. That's how Verclaren scored the first 2 points of this match, but Enriquez still going back to it.
Just walking back toward the center. Locked up here with 1:03 left in this third as they come off the mat.
Not much action here. It really looks like Enriquez, not wanting to take a shot in on Verclaren. You'd rather just lock up on top, but it hasn't worked so far today, and now they're just walking around the circle.
Less than a minute. And even for Verclaren here, 2 points would be big. Could tack on a major. Shooting the double. Got a hold of the ankle. And 11-3 the lead. 30 seconds left. Riding time nearly 3 minutes for Jared Verclaren. So essentially that 12-3 lead here. 20 seconds left in the third.
Yeah, I'm sure he was aware of the score and wanting to get that major decision. We mentioned might be a battle coming between him and Brady Berge. So, you know, anything that makes you look a little bit better, even if you get that last takedown, turns into a major decision. That's what you want if you're Verclaren.
I think at this point you have to at least expect some kind of wrestle-off inside the room.
Yeah.
Final 10 seconds of the third. Verclaren not content. And he will hang on for this 12-3 major, 3:14 of riding time for Jared Verclaren. And Penn State out in front of the Spartans, 8-7 the lead for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, if you're Michigan State, you blink and look up at the scoreboard. Penn State's got an 8-7 lead. You're wondering what happened. 2 great performances for Penn State right back to back. And after a break, you know, Jason Nolf coming in. Expect nothing other than excellence from him.
Jason Nolf, you mentioned one of the most exciting wrestlers in the country. We'll see him take on Jake Tucker next. To 157 we go. Penn State has claimed that lead here through 4 matches, and next we'll see Jason Nolf and Jake Tucker. Nolf, one of the top wrestlers in the country.
Yeah, Jason Nolf, another strong season. You see there, 20-0, 11 pins on the year. A really nice season for Jason Nolf, getting ready for his final go-through with the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, excuse me. But another great season for Jason Nolf. He's ready to get the action underway immediately here.
Well, about 5 seconds. 14-7, Penn State on top of Michigan State here in Rec Hall. But just across campus in the Bryce Jordan Center, plenty of action there as well. Students from Penn State participating in Thon, the largest student-run philanthropy in the world, supporting 40 here, walking around for 2 more. It's a 4-1 lead for Joseph. Joseph hoping to wrestle toward his 3rd NCAA championship. He would be the first ever Penn State wrestler to win 3 in his first 3 years.
Yeah, Vincenzo, one of those other guys. I know I mentioned earlier that Nick Lee, somebody who kind of doesn't get the credit he deserves at the beginning of this Penn State lineup. Well, Vincenzo Joseph is another guy who people don't necessarily realize has a chance to win 3 national championships in a row.
8-0 in duels this season. He's missed a couple due to injury here, but looking full strength tonight, a 4-2 lead. And in for 2 more there on the double from Joseph, 6-2, he's on top.
And Austin Hiles for Michigan State is another guy who doesn't wrestle in and out every single week, and somebody who's only seen 3 duels so far this year in the Big Ten, 0-3 in those. Coming off of 2 consecutive wins, however, so a little bit of momentum for Hiles, but certainly running into his toughest test to date.
There's the stall warning called on him late in this first period. Joseph with the arms trying to look for the tilt here. 30 seconds left. He's got some back points. Looking for more here. Vincenzo Joseph late in the first. He'll take 4 near fall. 10-2 the lead here. 15 seconds left to wrestle in the first.
Your feet, 10. 10, get your 1, Hiles.
Final 5 seconds of the first. And a 10-2 lead, Vincenzo Joseph over Austin Hiles. A dominant first period, another for a Nittany Lion.
Yeah, it seems like every Penn State wrestler that comes up, trying to outdo the last one before him. Nolf had a 10-5 lead at the end of 1 for him. Now Vincenzo goes up 10-2, so Penn State really laying it on in the first period. That's where they're getting this strong advantage.
Joseph starts down the escape. Fends off a shot. A cement mixer there from Joseph for 2. Looking for more back points here. 1:35 left in the second. Boy, that cement mixer a la Mark Hall.
Yeah. Reaching into the room once again to pull out a move.
Joseph with Hiles in trouble, in the pin for Vincenzo Joseph.
And a quick pin at that. Hiles, his shoulders touch the mat, and immediately the ref slaps the mat. Another nice match for Penn State. Vincenzo Joseph takes a pin of his own, 2 in a row.
3:48, just outdoing Jason Nolf by a hair. Penn State ahead 20-7.
I told you, they're trying to outduel themselves in first periods. Well, that wasn't enough. They're going to outduel themselves in pins as well.
Very much like this Penn State team. A lot of competition between each other. And another competitor up next for the Nittany Lions, Mark Hall. And he will take on Drew Hughes. Hall top ranked at 174. Hughes ranked 19th by Flow Wrestling.
Yeah, this is a lone ranked matchup of the night between Penn State and Michigan State. Drew Hughes is a guy who he has never wrestled against the Nittany Lions before. This is the first time he takes the mat against a Penn State wrestler, and that guy he's looking across from is top-ranked Mark Hall.
Hughes, the sophomore in the 2016-17 season, became the first freshman to qualify for NCAA since Sean McMurray in 2011. Hall, an NCAA championship in his freshman year, runner-up last year with the loss to Zahid Valencia that he avenged here in the regular season. End of the 2018 calendar year, 4-0 win over Valencia. A full third period ride out from Mark Hall over Valencia.
And Hughes is a guy who likes to get aggressive as well. We've seen that a lot from Penn State tonight. Hughes is another guy who likes to get aggressive. He's had pins in his last two matches as well. So a lot of guys coming up here through that love the pin.
As Hughes went down, the Michigan State coaches to our left immediately called to watch for that cement mixer that we were talking about. Saw Vincenzo Joseph use it to his advantage.
I think they probably know where Vincenzo got it from.
1:40 left in this first. Hall on the single. Still no takedown, trying to turn in. And now back swipes for Mark Hall here. The 4 near fall points for Mark Hall, and the Michigan State coaches have thrown out the brick. They want a challenge. Stalemate is called, so Roger Chandler in his third season as the head coach of Michigan State over to explain what he'd like tonight's referees to take a look at. The head official, John Nath, assisted by Jim Ravello. Just by reading lips there, it looked like Chandler wanted the takedown called before any kind of back points come. We didn't get a neutral danger call. And so a review of that takedown there. As it stands right now, 1:05 left in the first. 6-0 the lead, Mark Hall over Drew Hughes in our lone ranked matchup of the night. John Nath and Jim Ravello just kind of talking things out here as they look at the monitor. So no change here on the mat, and Roger Chandler doesn't like the explanation that he's getting. So we restart at the center, 1:05 left in the first. 30 seconds left to wrestle in this first period. And Hall, a pretty dominant ride there out on top.
20 seconds. 20.
Left hip down clear. Left hip down clear. Left hip down clear.
Only on the bottom.
Go
10
hard.
seconds.
5 seconds left here in the first. Hall will ride it out and take over a minute 30 of riding time into the second period. A 6-0 lead as well.
Yeah, a nice first period there from Mark Hall. And Hughes is a guy who can reach out and get these ranked guys. We saw him earlier this year in January take Michigan's Miles Amin late into the third period. That a really close duel. Amin came out on top, but Drew Hughes can keep himself in this match. Going to take a little bit here as he's down 6-0. But for Mark Hall, you want to try and put this one away as early as possible to not let Hughes back in it.
Head in there. Keep your head in there.
Hall looking for control on that upper body. Now with a little trip, but can't reel Hughes in. Now shoots in the double, wraps around. It's 8-0. And blood time here for Drew Hughes.
Only needs stuff right here.
Eight 0 the lead for Mark Hall as we take a look at Cale Sanderson for the Nittany Lions. Cale, in his 10th season at Penn State, has collected 7 NCAA titles, 5 Big Ten championships. He's qualified 9 wrestlers for that NCAA tournament the past 3 years. It's looking like this is going to be 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another one of Cale's great teams. I know there's a conversation that we may get into at one point or another about if this is the best that he's had here, and it's got to be splitting hairs, but another strong year for Cale Sanderson and another great job of coaching these guys up, and it's almost what you've come to expect here from Penn State with the dynasty that they've created and that Cale's created.
Certainly seems pure talent-wise that this Penn State team is right up there with the rest of them as one of the most talented we've seen for Penn State here in the past couple weeks. Some injuries, guys in and out of the lineup, but again, looking at pure talent, they've got to be up there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I wrote down here for Penn State, and a key for them tonight is don't get hurt. There's been way too many problems with Penn State going out and losing guys. Roman Bravo Young is a guy that comes to mind who out in Purdue got hurt on a move that he probably didn't necessarily need to make, so just wrestle safe. Don't get hurt, because if you get hurt at this point in the season, chances are you might not make it back for when it really matters.
That's a good point. Postseason just around the corner here for the Nittany Lions. 2 matches remain. Less than a minute here in the second. And Hall just grabbing those 2 as Hughes tries to scramble away. 10-1 the lead for Mark Hall.
And that's the thing when you wrestle Mark Hall. If you're going to bite in on a shot like that, make sure you finish through with it, because if you don't, he's going to stop you in your tracks, push you backwards, and he takes 2 of his own points. So Hughes tried to get a shot in there, but couldn't get it all the way through.
Stall warning called here on Hughes and rolling off the mat. Just less than 30 seconds left here in the second period. It's been all Mark Hall to this point.
Watch your crossface. No crossface. 20 seconds.
Less than 10 seconds here. Hughes keeping things in tight late in the second. And a 10-1 lead for Mark Hall over Drew Hughes as we head to the third.
Yeah, and with almost 3 minutes in riding time now. Just been one of those matches for Mark Hall where he's been in full control for almost the entirety of it, just kind of riding out on top.
All up to his feet here, start of the third period. Hughes just riding on the back, and another stall warning. That'll give Hall a point, 11-1.
Got to be careful. If he doesn't get off there, he's going to get another one, and there it is.
There it is, 12-1 the score. Trying to trip Hall back to the mat. He takes him down. So 12-1, Mark Hall in front.
Back up top he goes.
And stalemate here with 1:13 left. Mark Hall, a minute 57 of riding time, but he was trying to dwindle that down. Not that it'd be all that much here.
Well, I mean, you decide which poison you want. Do you want the 2 minutes and 44 seconds of riding time, or to give the 2 points on the stall calls? It kind of goes out in the wash there, but nonetheless, he's going to stay right back on top.
All up to his feet. Hughes on the back again. Less than a minute, and another stall called here on Drew Hughes, the third here in this third period.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before, where a wrestler does the exact same thing 4 times in a row to get 4 stall calls.
That'll do it here. Mark Hall the win over Drew Hughes, and Penn State piling it on here late in this one. They got going a bit slowly. Penn State roaring on all cylinders as we go to 184. Mason Manville, Cam Caffey, that's next. To 184 we go. Cam Caffey, ranked 17th. He'll take on unranked Mason Manville of Penn State. Caffey 25-3 this season. And Manville kind of jumping around, filling all spots for the Nittany Lion. (25-7) Penn State out in front. And still, this is one of the last 3 bouts we have remaining here in Rec Hall. Michigan State jumped out in front with a Rayvon Foley win, and Anthony Totolo as well. It's been all Penn State since. Shakur Rashid still out of the lineup for the Nittany Lions. And looking to work his way back. Talked about injuries a little bit in the last bout. I mean, at this point in the season, all that matters is really getting healthy for the postseason.
Yeah, and you wonder almost if that's the reason that some of these Penn State guys didn't necessarily go today. Maybe not because of new injuries, but the factor of re-aggravating things and not wanting to do that here in a matchup against Michigan State. You'd rather save those guys for the postseason when it really matters for them.
No score here, a minute into the first period. And now Caffey shooting in. Low single. Still no takedown. Caffey looking for the trip. Now grabs a hold of the leg, breaks him down. They'll make the call. It'll stay neutral.
Really nice job for Manville for fighting off that takedown. Thought it was going to come there eventually, but he was able to get out of bounds, get that stalemate called right there on the edge of the mat. Nice job for Manville.
Mason Manville wrestled at 165 this season, filling in for Vincenzo Joseph. Here we see him at 184. Almost reminds you of what Shakur Rashid has done in years past, did it a few years ago for the Nittany Lions, but Rashid comfortable where he is. Manville weighed in at 171 pounds here tonight. Scramble here. Manville trying to work his way through the legs of Caffey. .30 seconds left in the first.
And just for reference there, you mentioned that Manville weighed in at 171 pounds. Of course, this 184-pound weight class, and that's 12 pounds less than what Kaffe weighed in as. So a massive difference, and it's obvious just by looking out here on the mat.
20 seconds left here in the first. And no score. We're through.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a little bit of a stop here.
Straightening out everything at the scorer's table.
But as I was saying, you can see from the replay why that was overturned. Certainly didn't look like Manville got all the way behind and to secure that takedown. So nice job by the refs stopping the action and make sure they get everything right.
Kaffe wraps around for two, a 3-0 lead. And the escape for Manville. Mentioned giving up 12, 13 pounds. Manville almost had something there. They sprawled the mat. Less than a minute here in the second.
Yeah, he finds himself in a pretty tough position now. Right flat on his stomach just to hold the one leg there. If he can pry that away, if Kaffe can get that away, it's going to be a takedown, and there it is.
There it is, 5-1 the lead for Kaffe. Late in the second. Kaffe hard on top here.
15, 15.
Manville looking to peel out. Just 5 seconds left. Manville looking to peel away. And he'll run out of time. Cam Kaffe, 5-1 lead. 41 seconds of riding time heading into this third period. The escape from Manville. Shooting in, turning in. And off the mat with 1:34 left in the third. Boy, Mason Manville doesn't seem too tired. As mentioned, giving up a good 13 pounds here to Cam Kaffe.
No, you absolutely love Mason Manville's fight, and whether you're a Michigan State fan, a Penn State fan, or neither, you love the fight of Mason Manville doing whatever this coaching staff asks of him, going wherever they ask him to go, up 2 weight classes, down 2 weight classes maybe even, and you love his fight.
Manville trying to gain control here. And off the mat they go again. Now this rec hall crowd really back into things. 50 seconds of riding time for Kaffe. Just over a minute left to wrestle in the third. Kaffe's up 3. Stalemate with 48 ticks left. A stall warning called on Kaffe, and Manville takes 2. 33 seconds left here in the third. The leg count starting here, and the stall warning called on Manville. That might have been strategy there, because now we go back, or as we restart here, Manville's going to start neutral, and it's 6-4, so just a takedown away. 20 seconds left.
In riding time, not a factor at all in this one. It's going to be settled right here on the mat in front of us.
15 seconds left. Both wrestlers with a stall warning called against them. Manville shooting in, but Caffey sprawling back. 5 seconds left. And he's going to hold on to this one. A 6-4 win by decision for Cam Caffey. It was certainly hard fought. And it's 26-10.
And we've said it time and time again throughout this match. Give credit to Mason Manville for bumping up 2 weight classes. I know he's wrestled there a few times already, but still, just from looking at the wrestlers on the mat, certainly undersized, goes out there, makes Caffey work for it, and you know, this Rec Hall crowd really proud of Mason Manville.
3-time All-American and reigning Big Ten Wrestler of the Week after pinning second-ranked Colin Moore in just a minute 38 in Columbus.
His 13th pin of the year. We're talking about somebody who, you know, only has wrestled 19 matches on the year, pins in 13 of them. That's pure domination. And if you look on your TV screen right now, Bo sporting something a little bit different on top of his head there. He's got nice blue hair this week.
Blue hair rocking and a takedown to go along with it. 2-0 nickel out on top. 13 wins by fall, as you mentioned, and he's looking for another. Got Wilton in trouble. And Nickel with the pin, 35 seconds for Bo Nickel.
What a treat it is to watch Bo Nickel wrestle. Doesn't get better than that when he walks on the mat. The person he's facing knows they might be in trouble, and it doesn't even take him a minute. Usually it doesn't even take him a minute. Bo Nickel shocks this crowd again. You know, at this point in time, we should probably be used to it, but they're not.
He was 2 behind Jason Nolf in the all-time Penn State list coming into the night. Both have pins tonight. We're heading to heavyweight to end the night next. (32-10), top-ranked Penn State out in front of Michigan State. Let's take one more look at that dominant effort from Bo Nickel. Just 35 seconds to pin Brad Wilton. Locking up the cradle.
As soon as he hits that cradle, it was the first thing he looked for. Takedown into the cradle on his back, and at that point, you're not going to get out of that when Bo Nickel has you in that cradle on your back. And we've seen it time and time again. He's done it time and time again. This time, no different.
After tonight, Penn State hits the road. They travel to Illinois for a Sunday afternoon duel. And Michigan State heads back home to East Lansing. They'll host Purdue on Sunday, 1 o'clock start. And both of these teams with just one duel left after the weekend. But here wrapping up the night at heavyweight, Anthony Cassar, Chase Beard. Cassar third in the country, 18-1 this season, Beard 15-8.
And we made a big deal about the weight difference for Mason Manville and 12 pounds in that one. Well, if you look on here, it's 49 pounds the weight difference between these guys. Cassar weighed in at 231 pounds, and Beard comes in at a crisp 280.
Quick takedown there for Cassar, and Beard the escape. So 2-1 early on.
Go to it. Run your feet.
And the clock actually not running here in Rec Hall. So it should be 2-1. But the clock and the scoreboard here not cooperating for our last bout of the night. Let's take a moment just to recap things. Started out with Rayvon Foley and Anthony Tutolo win, but from there, for the most part, it's been Penn State until we get to 184. Cam Caffey just hanging on for a 5-4 win over Mason, 6-4 rather win over Mason Manville. Bo Nickel with a pin, Jason Nolf as well. And Vincenzo Joseph getting in on the mix, 2 for Penn State. So getting back to those bonus points we saw a little shuffle in the season there, a couple weeks where Penn State was held pretty silent, some close duels.
Yeah, and that was the point in the season where I think some people started to question, well, what's going on with this Penn State team? You've got these top-ranked wrestlers for Penn State going out against unranked opponents or opponents in the bottom half of the ranking and just getting decisions. You saw guys like Jason Nolf just get decisions against people, and that's not something that you've come to know from these guys. And they went to Columbus, and like I said at the top of the broadcast, the best performance I'd seen of Penn State all year was like they flipped a switch and they started getting the bonus points. They started to get the upset victories, and here today it's just carried over.
And then another reason why they're such a dangerous team come March, because like you said, it seems like they can just flip a switch. Both coaches getting an explanation about the clock situation here. As it stands right now, it's a 2-1 score. Anthony Cassar the takedown, Beard the escape before they rolled off the mat. So their announcement here in Rec Hall is the scoreboard is out, but the clock at the table is working. So we'll do our best to relay the time here. 2-1 is the score in Rec Hall in this first period. Tied up at the center, it's Cassar and Beard, and you mentioned nearly 50 pounds between the two. Cassar shooting in, and the patented double leg for Anthony Cassar. 4-1, he's on top here in the first. You
let Anthony Cassar get to your legs, you're going to go down. He is the master of getting that double leg takedown. Shows us there why. And, you know, against a guy like Chase Beard, who doesn't tend to shoot much, he's not really a speedy guy. You get in at that double leg takedown, you get a couple of those, it's going to really tire Beard out.
4-1 Cassar on top here and collecting a little bit of riding time. Again, no scoreboard that's operational that we can see in Rec Hall, but at the scorer's table they have it running. 4-2 the escape, and Cassar shooting back in, adds two more, 6-2 the lead for Anthony Cassar.
He changed things up that time, went in with a single leg, but same result.
Final, or a minute here for Anthony Cassar in riding time. Late in this first period. 6-2 the lead for Cassar.
Up, knee slide. Knee slide.
Anthony Cassar last season battling things out with teammate Shakur Rashid for that starting knot at 197. It was Rashid who ended up getting the job for the postseason. But now both wrestlers in this starting lineup, both have seen plenty of success and are certainly looking to make a splash come the postseason.
Yeah, you look at Anthony Cassar in his first year at heavyweight, a guy that's really light for a heavyweight, but comes into this match 18-1. That only loss 3-2 to the number 2 ranked wrestler in the country, Derek White. He wrestles out at Oklahoma State. You know, Cassar has really fit in well at this heavyweight position.
2:04 of riding time for Cassar. A 6-2 lead as the first comes to a close. Beard to start down. We've seen a bit of a trend here in the past couple of years, the likes of Kyle Snyder and here with Anthony Cassar, of some of these lighter but much more athletic heavyweight guys.
Yeah, and I think you can see why. I mean, if they get a takedown and get the other guy down and they're on top, they can just work their craft and they can wrestle their match. Right there's a perfect example of it. Beard, he's going to struggle on the mat there.
Hard double for Kassar, looking for the pin to end the night. Plenty of time here in this second period for Kassar with 4 near fall points to tack on 10. 3 is the lead. Make it 12-3 with the takedown as well. 45 seconds left in this second period.
Score! Yes!
The escape for Beard, it's 12-4. Kassar back to work, 14-4 the lead. With 20 seconds left. Final 5 seconds of the second period. And we come to a close, 14-4. The lead for Anthony Kassar. Plenty of riding time to go along with that. 3:47 of riding time just announced here. Again, the scoreboard not working for this final bout of the night. Penn State, the 32-10 lead. They've got this duel locked up. Anthony Kassar looking to tack on a few more.
And I think just one more time, going back to what we talked about earlier with this new kind of this new breed of heavyweight, if you will. I think part of that is to do with the fact that in college, there's no weight class between heavyweight and 197. So if you get somebody Anthony Kassar's size, very muscular, weighing in right there around 230 pounds, in high school you have a 220-pound weight class. So you have somewhere for him to go. Here in college, you're stuck right in the middle.
17-5, make it 19. Kassar just piling on here. Riding time up over 4 minutes. And still plenty of time in the third. First stall warning called on Chase Beard. 19-6. And a tech fall for Kassar, or rather a takedown could do it to the tech fall, and there we go. So 37-10, Penn State takes care of Michigan State here at Rec Hall. In the waning moments of this regular season, still 2 duels left for both of these teams, but Penn State certainly looking plenty dominant tonight.
Yeah, they looked really well tonight. You counted up from the top to the bottom. Penn State walks away with this one, 7 wins, bonus points in all 7 of them. This was a performance that Penn State, if you're the coaching staff, if you're the fans, you really want to see a performance like this moving into the postseason, moving into these final 2 meets. Penn State's not just riding the waves, they're attacking still, and that's what you want to see.
The Nittany Lions, 3 pins tonight, and we just saw a tech fall as well. An all-out effort for Penn State, looking to close out these last few weeks of the regular season. They'll travel to Illinois for a Sunday duel at 2, and Michigan State heads home to host Purdue at 1 o'clock. Final score, Penn State beats up on Michigan State 37-10. For everyone here at Rec Hall, so long from Happy Valley.